even in our day and age, if you're a person that likes living by the gun, you as well are going to die by the gun. Whatever it is that you like living by, right, and it is bad to other people, you the same shall also happen to you. Like this young man, he ended up losing his own life. You might end up even losing more. You might end up losing your friends, family, relationships, and all those other kind of things. You might end up losing them just by claiming credit for the things that you did not do. Greetings and welcome once again to the channel, guys. Welcome back. Now, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, do so by subscribing to the channel and hit the notification bell as well, so that you do not miss when a new video pops up. Right now, we are also available on Anchor, Spotify, as well as on Apple Podcast, and you can be sure to follow us on those three platforms, and you can listen to us, guys, in the luxury of your car when you're driving or when you're taking a jog as well. Now also, we are now available on TikTok at Sinner Saved By _grace, where you can then find the short videos that will then be promoting to come to this full video of the day, right? And you can also now find us as well. Now this is to my podcasters, you can find us as well on YouTube at Ashley Cherera, and you can follow us as well on that platform. Now today we are going to be talking about what are the dangers, what are the dangers of taking advantage, or rather taking credit for the things that you did not do. What are the dangers of claiming the things that you did not take, right? So are you the person today that is thinking about taking credit for the things that you did not do? Or maybe you're already in the position that you're thinking to yourself, I should take credit for this thing, even though you clearly know that you did not take part of it. Or maybe even in the future, you might come to an instant whereby you're forced, or an opportunity comes where you have to take credit for things that you did not do. Now, if you're one of those person, this video is made for you. Now tune in to find out more. Now, without wasting further time, we're going to be reading from the book of 2 Samuel chapter 1 verse 14, right? The book of 2 Samuel chapter 1 verse 14, verse 15, as well as verse 16. And we're going to see what does the Bible say in regards to claiming things that are not yours, right, and making them your own. We are reading from the book of 2 Samuel chapter 1 verse 14, 15, and 16, and it reads as follows. And David said unto him, How wast thou not afraid to stretch forth thine hand to destroy the Lord's anointed? And David called one of the young men and said, Go near and fall upon him, and he smote him that he died. Verse 16. And David said unto him, Thy blood be upon thy head, for thy mouth had testified against thee, saying, I have slain the Lord's anointed. Now, if we just to look at a brief summary of what is happening here, right? Now, if we go back to 1 Samuel, the first book, before we get to 2 Samuel, right? If we go back to the first book, right, we realize that now there was a point as it was ending, and we talked about this in the previous episode, right, where we talked about what goes around comes around, right? What goes around comes around, right? And we talked about this in the previous episode. Now, if you haven't watched that, I will leave the link to go watch that video right here. Yes, I believe it's right here, or you can then go and watch it, and then you can understand what we're talking about today. But without wasting further time, so Saul had died, right? So now there was a young man that then came to David. Remember, there was a war between David and Saul, right? So now this young man comes to David and says, I'm coming with the crown. He comes with the crown that Saul had, right? He comes with the crown. He comes also, I believe, with the sword as well. And he says, and David, in saying these things, he says, and don't these things belong to Saul? How is it possible that these things are in your hands, right? Now, keep in mind, everyone in the nation knew that Saul and David were not seeing eye to eye, right? So now this young man then comes to David and says that, you know what, as there was war, Saul then allowed me and asked me to take his life and, you know, to smite him, right? And this is what this young man then says to David. Now, if we look at the previous episode, we realize that this was actually not what happened. If we look at the previous episode, we realize that Saul was actually the one that took his own sword and put it upon himself. But when this young man comes to David, he says, no, that was not the case. I'm actually the one who took his life, right? So in doing this, he's doing this, taking credit for things that he did not do, right? Thinking that he is going to get favor from David. Remember, Saul was an enemy for David, right? And they were both in a place where there was war against them, and Saul was always after David, even though David had chances, countless chances to smite Saul, and he never took them. So now this young man comes to David and says that I was the one that took the sword and I smote Saul. Now in doing this, this young man is thinking to himself, I'm going to gain favor in David's eyes because Saul has always been after David. So, I'm going to get favor from this guy. So now in the end, as we read in verse 14, 15 and 16, it clearly tells us that David actually, after hearing this, he says, no, hold on a minute. How is it possible that you did not were not afraid to smite that which the Lord had anointed? How is it possible that you were not afraid to smite that which the Lord had anointed? Now, mind you, this guy, he did not actually do this thing that he had claimed credit for, right? This young man had not actually done any of these things that he had actually come to claim credit for. So now David then asks him, how is it possible that you did not even have any fear in you to smite the Lord's anointed? How is that even possible, right? So then in the end, we now realize that this young man is now as well. He says that David says that for your own tongue has testified against you, right? So in the end, this guy ends up losing his own life. He ends up losing his own life for something that he himself did not even do, trying to claim credit for things that he himself did not even do. So then when it comes to you today, right, what are the things that you're probably thinking to yourself, you know what, I think I can claim credit for this, I can go to them and I tell them that I am the one that did this thing. Maybe in your case, it might not be like this young man where it results to death. Maybe it might even lose to you losing your job, yeah, right? It might lead to that. You losing your job, you losing a friendship, you losing a relationship, you losing all kinds of things, right? But like this young man, he claimed credit for things that he did not do, right? He said that he is the one that smote Saul, whereas Saul was the one that took the sword upon himself and took his own life, right? But him, in this case, he says that I am the one that took Saul's life. So in your instance, right, the danger of claiming things or taking credit for things that you did not do, might it be in a workplace where you might come and say this project or this assignment or this whatever it is, and then you look, let's say an intern hands something to you, right, and then you take it upon yourself and you take credit for it and you say I am the one who did this, I am the one who did this, not knowing that maybe in that report or maybe in that thing that you are claiming, maybe there was things there that would result in you getting fired because those things were not supposed to be in that report, right? So it is a matter of saying that, or even if you are in school, and then you take someone's assignment and you take it for yourself and you say and you submit it as your own work, one day they will do these checks and they would then call you up for plagiarism and all those kind of things, and you might even end up losing your position at school. So the message for today is that do not claim things that you have not done for yourself, right? Do not claim things that you have not done for yourself. Like this young man, he ended up losing his own life. You might end up even losing more. You might end up losing your friends, family, relationships, and all those other kind of things. You might end up losing them just by claiming credit for the things that you did not do. So the moral of the story, or rather the message for today, is saying do not claim credit for things that you did not do. Like this young man, he lost his life for something that he did not even do. He did not even take Saul's life, but he came to claim credit, saying he was the one, which then led to him losing his own life. So keep in mind that you do not claim things and take credit for things that you did not do. And that is our message for today. May God bless you. God knows what you're going through. God knows what it is that you need in your life, right? God knows it all. He knows, and He will supply for you when the time is right. But you have to be patient. You have to be patient and trust that God is going to come through for you.